What up, YouTube? How we doing? Bro? Look at me, not coming in with a late ass upload as usual. Dude, I think my last upload was like 2 or 3 days ago, and then my other upload before that was like a couple days before that. Look at me, not Mr. Upload every 7 months. Hey, you gotta give me some credit where credit's due, right? But anyway, y'all, today I'm gonna be telling the story of the time that I almost got caught in school with a dab pen, right? And I probably titled this something to do with like caught with the Yart or some shit. Just because I know that there's a bunch of different names for it nowadays. But back then, we just called it the dab pen because they were relatively new when I was in high school, to be honest with you. Like, I don't even think they were a thing until my junior or sophomore year. Sophomore, junior year, I can't remember because I think this actually took place in my sophomore, junior year. But anyway, before we get into that, I thought we'd take our annual bong rip before we start the video. Today we're smoking on some. I think we're smoking on Memory Loss by Zero Gravity Cannabis, right? I actually lost the bag, so I'm just going off memory there. I couldn't remember it, so it's called Memory Loss. Hey, it's a corny ass joke. You smoking along with me at home? Cheers. Alright, now it's out of the way, let's get into the video. Alright, so I want to say this took place in my like sophomore year, right? And this day started like no other, like any other, right? This is just a normal ass fucking day. So, I probably got stoned beforehand. Like I said, this was a long ass time ago, so some of the details I don't exactly remember, but like the core of the story I do. But yeah, because at this point, dude, this was like 10 years ago almost. God damn, I'm getting old, man. I'm becoming an unk. But anyway, this probably happened in my sophomore year. I remember back then the dab pen was like the big thing that had just hit, right? So like, I literally said that earlier, but like, I think literally dab pens had just become a thing in like my freshman year of high school, I want to say. And I know it was my freshman year because I got my hands on one in freshman year. But it was like super hard to get carts for. I remember I paid like $50 for the pen, and like it came with like a case and shit, and it came with a cart. Like I didn't buy just the pen, but it was not like a disposable or anything. It was like this really weird unit, and I remember like this was before like the vitamin E poisoning epidemic and like all that bullshit was coming out. Like this was the cleanest cart ever, bro. That first cart you get like that I had gotten was so fucking clean. It tasted like keef, like straight up, and you get so fried off of it. And I think that was actually this pen, right? But it was probably a different card at that point. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So this started in my sophomore year, right? I probably went to school, got on the bus. I remember I would always take the bus to school in the morning, and I would get up fucking probably 5, 6 in the morning because I had to take this bus all the way from a different town all the way into the city just to get to school because my town I'm from didn't have a high school, so I had to go to the city's school. And so I had to take this bus early as fuck in the morning and always be like foggy as shit out. I'd have to walk a half mile down my road just to get to the bus stop to get picked up, and then take a bus ride for like a couple hours on top of that. And so like I would always get stoned, man. That first little walk in the morning, you know what I mean? Whenever I had weed or a dab pen or anything, I'd always be smacking that shit on the way to school. And dude, at the time, like I was also on fucking Ritalin. I'm pretty sure it was like some ADHD med. I can't remember. It was like either Adderall or Ritalin, right? And when I would smoke, when I was on it, and I would drink like a little bit of caffeine, bro, I'd be so geeked up. I remember I would show up to school and there would be like an hour beforehand, like, because I would get there early as fuck, you know, because the bus, and I'd have like an hour to kill, so I'd just be like zoinked out of my mind, just fucking watching videos on my phone or like playing little video games on my phone. I remember there was like this CS:GO fucking clone that you could play on your mobile. It's like Counter-Strike something or other, like a knockoff, and I would play that stoned as fuck every morning off the Ritalin, like just geeked out of my mind, dude. I thought I was gonna go pro on that shit. But yeah, so this is probably one of those days. So anyway, I get to school, right? You know, I get through my first class, and I decided I'm gonna skip my second class, right? And this part of my year, I was always skipping my second class. It was just this stupid like study hall like block that I had that I really hated the teacher in, so I would always just skip it, never even show up to it. And when we would skip in my school, there was this very specific spot that like a lot of my friends would go because we knew that it was hard for them to find us there, and there was no cameras, right? So we could kind of get away with it. And this place was called the Senior Lounge, right? I don't know why they called it that. There was no lounge there. It was literally just a random like open like room almost. It had like a couple benches, but like other than that, it was literally just an empty room with like a little smaller room off to the side and a bunch of big ass glass windows everywhere, right? But this was basically where everyone would skip school and skip classes and show up to, right? And so I'm doing my laps, I'm walking around the school, and I run into this fucking kid that I know, right? And his name's Caleb, right? We'll just call him Caleb, because that's actually his name, and I don't give a shit. So we're using real names today, because I don't actually fuck with any of the people in this story, and they're all pieces of shit nowadays. So fuck them. We'll use their real names. So I meet up with this kid Caleb, right? He's in the hallway. We were kind of friends at the time. He's a year younger than me. He's a freshman. I'm a sophomore. And we had some science class together, right? And he knew I smoked, and I knew he smoked, right? And so he walks up to me, and he's like, yo, do you have anything, like, trying to fiend off me, basically. Asking if I have a Juul, because that was a big thing back in the day, bro. Asking if I had the Juul or the Soren, the fucking Soren Air. Nah, that shit was crazy, bro. Spitting in your mouth 24/7. Hey, pause, bro, pause. But nah, bro, he asked me, he's like, you have anything to hit? And to be honest, I was cool with him at the time, so I was like, you know what, yeah, let's go smoke. I got my dab pen on me. He's like, alright, bet, let's go to the Senior Lounge. And so we start walking over there, we make our way over there, and we run into this other kid, right? And we're gonna use this other kid's real name too, because he's a big piece of shit nowadays. He's like, I have a whole nother story about him, but he's serving like fucking, I think it's like 8 years for like raping a girl that was underage or some shit. Like he's fucked, bro. So I'm gonna use his real name in this shit, because I don't give a shit. His name's Jay, right? So we run into Jay, boom. This, I'll keep in mind, that stuff that he got into, that was years later. Like, this was back in high school. He was a minor at this point, right? And we run into Jay, and I don't really know Jay like that, especially at this point, right? Like, I never really fuck with him, but I didn't know him at all, really, at this point. But Caleb does. And he's like, yo, it's Jay. So they dap each other up, whatever. He starts walking with us, and I'm like, great, now I got another motherfucker I gotta, hit my pen, basically. And so we're walking, and we get into the Senior Lounge, and there's this fucking girl there, right? And I don't even remember her real name. Actually, yeah, I do. It was Aspen, right? Her name was Aspen. We'll just call her real name. I don't give a fuck, because I have no idea what even happened to her. She ended up moving, I think a year later. I never heard from her. But anyways, we see this girl here, right? And she'll be a part of the story in a little bit, because she kind of did some shit that fucked me over, but we'll get into that. So basically, it's the four of us, right? Me, this Caleb kid, Jay, and Aspen. We're all standing in the Senior Lounge, and we're all smoking my cart in the corner, right? I'm hitting that shit. I took a big ass blinker, right? And I pass it over. I ghost that shit. And then the cool thing about the Senior Lounge too is that there was like a window in the corner, like all these windows you could open, and we would just blow the smoke out the window, right? So that like no one would see it. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'd blow the smoke out the window so no one would see it, right? And so I blew that shit out the window. I pass it off to Caleb. He hits it. Doesn't chief it too hard. He passes it to Jay. He hits it. He fucking fiends my shit, bro. He tried to take a blinker, and I'm like, yo, chill, bro. Cart's already like half gone. Back then, dude, carts were expensive. Like, I was paying probably $45 for that cart, man. This is back in like probably, I don't even know, 2018. So like, who fucking knows? 2017, 2016, I don't even remember what year it was. But basically, this kid's fiending my shit. He passes it to the girl. She hits my cart, and then she starts getting fried as fuck, because of course she's a lightweight, barely smokes. So her eyes immediately get red as fuck. My eyes are red because I've been coughing. Jay's eyes are red. So they pass my pen back, right? And I hit it one more time, and we pass it around. I'm like, fuck it, we'll pass it around one more time. So it starts making its way around the circle, right? And when it gets to that Aspen girl, who's the last in line to pass it to me, she's about to hit it, and we just hear, what are we doing in here? And we turn around and we look, and it's fucking one of the school security guards and like one of the deans, right? So like bad, the worst possible case scenario, right? Not just some random teacher, like literally the people that you do not want to catch you smoking. You know what I mean? And they could tell immediately what was up, but they didn't see us hitting it, right? We luckily, she had the dab pen in her hand, right? And right when they said that shit, that she passes me the dab pen literally in front of them, bro. Like literally looks at them and then just hands it back to me in front of them, bro. Like literally like a dumbass, just like, oh, I'm not getting caught with this, hits his, and passes it to me in front of them, bro. What the fuck? And so of course they're like, oh, all of you guys need to come down to the office right now, you need to be searched. And so we're like, fuck, bro. I'm panicking because I know I had this dab pen on me, right? It has like a little case and it's all like out of the case and everything, so I'm panicking. I'm shoving it all in my pocket. It was all together, so I'm like trying to do this all together in my pocket, unscrew the top, put it in the little case so it's all together, and I did that, right? But as we're walking down, we're on the second floor, keep in mind, and the administration hallway is like on the bottom floor, so we have to go down a bunch of stairs and a couple hallways to get there, so we have a little bit of time. So I'm like trying to figure out, what the fuck am I gonna do, bro? What am I gonna do? And so I'm panicking, right? And they start walking us down the hallway, and as they're doing it, this dumbass kid named Jay, he takes out Visine out of his bag and starts putting eye drops in front of them, bro. Like it wasn't obvious enough, like what we were doing. The kid's a fucking idiot, bro. And so of course now I'm pissed at him too. Not only am I pissed at the girl because she like obviously handed it off to me, but now this idiot's just fucking putting Visine in front of them, like we don't know what they're doing. And so I'm pissed off at this point. These idiots just got me caught, basically. You know, I'm thinking in my head, I'm better than this, bro. I'm so much better than this. And so I'm thinking, I'm gonna get out of this. I'm gonna fucking get out of this. I'm not going down like this, bro. So I start scheming. And as we make it down to the administrative hallway, I go behind them, right? Basically forcing them to go get searched first. And there was just so happened to only be enough people to like, there's some law in the state that I'm from where like they have to have a certain amount of adults present when they search a kid, and it has to be a certain gender, like depending on their gender. And so luckily there was only enough people to search like 2 people at a time. So I had a second. Like they went all in. And so I'm just sitting outside the administrator's office, and all that's blocking the door is just like this lady behind a desk who's not even an administrator. Like she's literally just a secretary or something, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, there's just a secretary, right? Like she's not gonna get me in trouble. And so I have the dab pen in my pocket and I put my bag down and I'm like, hey, I know we're getting searched, but I really need to pee. I'm leaving. But I'm leaving my bag here. And before she could even say anything, I just started walking away, right? And I literally just walked out the front door of the school. Like I just bolted for the front door, like not like ran, but just like sped walked out to the front door before anyone could come catch up to me. And I literally just walked out the front door of the school, right? And I look behind me and I'm expecting them to be like right there, but nobody saw me, right? So I literally just ran across the street from the school really, really quickly. And I'm thinking, I'm just gonna run, I'm not going back. But then I think, you know what's a better idea? I'm just gonna hide all my drugs out here and then I'll come back for it later. So that's exactly what I did. I just went into the woods. I hid it under like a tree stump thing, and like exactly where I'd find it later, because I knew I had to walk to the bus stop anyway to get on the public bus to get home, so I'd have time to find it. So I just hid all my illegal shit under the stump, and I quickly ran back to school, ran back in the front doors, and fucking ran back to my seat, and I just sat back down right before they came out to get me. And apparently, according to the other kid, the fucking Caleb kid, he was like, when he came out of getting searched, the dean was like, where'd he go? And the lady behind the desk was like, oh, he said he went to the bathroom. And they started getting pissed, like, oh, you let him go to the bathroom? We were searching him, what the fuck? And so I ended up getting away with it, bro. fucking, they searched me. Obviously, they didn't find anything, and they were pissed. And at the end of the school day, I just slipped out the front door, went with all the crowds, and I went into the woods, and I grabbed my shit, got high as a bitch in the woods real quick, and then I got on the bus and went home. And that was basically it, man. It was one of the smoothest escapes, bro. Honestly, I don't know how I pulled that off. Like, I really should have gotten caught. And it was honestly like just a fucking miracle. I don't know, dude, because that girl, fucking Aspen, bro, she literally handed it to me like in front of everyone, and they clearly saw like what it was. You know what I mean? Like, what else could it have been? You know what I mean? But and then that dumbass putting fucking eye drops in his head, like doing all that dumbass shit in front of them. You know what I mean? That could have got us caught too. But you know, at the end of the day, I was okay, and I kept the pen, and we stayed getting high, but you know, ended up winning. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be the end of today's video, y'all. I really appreciate you guys watching. It means the world to me. We have a subscription goal going on right now. If we can get to 500 subscribers, I'm gonna be giving a lucky person a blue snowball microphone. It's a great microphone. It's not the microphone I use anymore. I use a Blue Yeti now, but it's a microphone I used to use. And whoever, once we hit 500 subs, once we do that, I will be giving one of you lucky guys one of those. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. It means the world to me. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.